Hi, everyone. It is Linda here from thoughtchange.com. Today, I am with my Huna brother, Barry Farthing, and my Huna sister, Rhonda Ferridge. I have known these beautiful souls for almost 10 years now. We actually met in Hawaii, and today we're talking about connecting with the higher self in the Huna tradition. So, first of all, aloha, Barry and Rhonda.
Aloha, Linda,
Like that.
and everybody.
Like that. Like that. There you
Yeah, exactly. So Barry and Rhonda are in Australia. So first of all, for any of you who don't really know what Huna is, I'll just describe it very briefly as the ancient Hawaiian system of spirituality, of healing. It can be considered a mystery school or a shamanic type of system for healing. So in that tradition, there is a really incredible ritual, I guess I would say, for higher self connection. Barry, can you remember the very first time you were exposed to this kind of connection?
Probably the first time was when I saw it show up in other people that I was with. That's probably the best thing. We could see how people could literally tap into that energy, and the physiology of them changed. And that intrigued me so much that I decided I wanted to learn how to do it for myself. And I found out that Huna was taught in Hawaii, so I went there and met you in our first level 1. And to see people coming from that space, it was very palpable for me to see when someone is actually having a connection or has been in connection with their higher self. They are so much nicer people, and it just resonated so well with me. I said, I'd like to know how to do that. And then, as we were just discussing, we practiced and learned how to do it for ourselves at level 2. And you and I both did that together in the workshop. It was fantastic. So
It was great fun. For me, my first exposure was in 2005. I'd never heard of Huna before. And a friend of mine actually recommended a workshop that they were actually here in Ottawa doing a weekend, an intro to Huna weekend. And I went and had some really profound experiences in many different exercises that we did that weekend. But the higher self one was really fascinating to me because this is the first time that I was able to actually like put my hands above my head and feel the higher self, and put your hand inside and feel the energy was very, very different. And then bring that higher self into the physical body. And from my experience of doing that, it's like your problems are not problems anymore. Your stress is not there. You are just in a state of peace and bliss and love. And it's totally amazing experience.
I remember when you were saying that when we first had to do it, and someone was facilitating it for us, Akuma. And for people that see energy, etc., you can see your higher self once it's called. And I'm going, please be there, please be there, please be there. And he said, yeah, it's there. And I went, okay. And I was just relying on the fact it might be. And then he said, now invite it in. And I had that palpable feeling of like goosebumps tingling as it came in. I thought, oh my God, this is real. It's not just an idea or something you take on faith. It's actually a very practical, feasible experience. Yeah.
Very real and very different than connecting with your higher self, say in meditation. It's a really palpable.
Yes.
So I laugh because when we practiced in level 2, we learned how to do this ritual. We learned the chants to do it. And Barry and I were partnered up, and Barry went first. And of course, neither one of us really knew the chant very well. We would read it and do our very best to pronounce everything. And I could feel my higher self come in. And then it was my turn to facilitate for Barry. And it was almost like I was drunk on spiritual energy. I don't know how I made it through the chant, but apparently it worked, and we've both gotten much better since that time.
Yeah, the purpose of chanting is to connect you to your neurology, to the energy. So once I chant every day, and over the time, my higher self will come in all the time now. So there's an open invitation there, and if you feel good about that, that's great. And they love the ritual. They love the play of that, and mine does particularly. It gets so excited, and I feel the energy of it. It's a pure joyful experience, and so I love doing it all the time. So,
well, I'd say even for clients that I've done this ritual with, they tell me afterwards that they're able to call their higher self in that same palpable way that they had. And I remember one just sitting there in total bliss going, I had no idea, no idea that this is a level of spiritual energy you can experience.
and it's more about you just becoming aware of it, because your higher self is always connected to you, but we have free will, etc. But as you open up your awareness to it, it's pretty much undeniable that you're alone. You actually do have this pretty amazing connection, and it's the best friend, the best companion, the best thing that you'll ever have once you start to develop an connection with
No judgment, no criticism. It's just love.
Yeah. Whenever mine comes in, that's why you see me tear a little bit. That's one of my other tells. Mine's in now. It's just come in and just enjoying the conversation, hanging out, and giggling.
So, Rhonda, do you have any higher self experiences you might like to share?
I think when I went to Huna, the thing that was so amazing to me was how practical it is. And after doing 30 years of spiritual practice and connecting and meditating, and then coming to Huna, and then it's just so, they just made everything so easy and simple, and it is an actual practical thing that you do. You literally bring it in a real sense. It's not, oh, hang on, I'm just going to wait for the feeling and hopefully I get it. And that's all the practices that we did in Huna. I just said, why didn't someone tell me this 30 years ago? It's how I clear my black bags, boom, gone. How I align myself, how I bring in my higher self. God, it's that easy? Really? And it was just fantastic. And what I loved about bringing the higher self in was that it's the real experience in being able to ask questions. Ask your higher self the burning questions, and then wait for the answer. And that's profound when you can do that, and you can sit down and you can either journal it or just meditate with it. And then, the things that are really that you want to get in touch with, your higher self can tell you. It's like, wow, it's so cool.
It's definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And then it sets up that connection to who you really are. And then when you know who you really are, then it makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Now, Barry and Rhonda and I get together once or twice a month, and we have spiritual conversations, share experiences, and channel energy. And the last time we got together, I think we did some work around alignment. We were doing energetic calibrations for having more alignment. And Barry called in all of our higher selves. And it was, just like that. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh, why don't I do this every day? Because when we're taught the ritual, it's quite a long ritual where we clear emotional residue and limiting beliefs and do Ho'oponopono for forgiveness. So it is quite a process, but we can just chant and call that higher self. in. And so it's been really wonderful since we met, because I've been calling my higher self in and conversing more often than I did before. So it's really been a blessing. So mahalo.
You're very welcome. And I do know that for anybody that wants to explore this, and my experience has been, it's one of the most best relationships you'll ever have. So that's why. You can have all these other ones, but this one where you have the relationship with your higher self and expand it, develop it, and it does, there is nothing better, because it's source. It's your nearest connection to source that you're going to get, and it's just beautiful. And your higher self is just totally in tune with you, so it's not hard. It's just a worthwhile practice that once you actually start and do it, you feel so much better.
And it reminds you that you are one with that, that we're not separate. Like, your higher self is you and you are your higher self, and there is no disconnection ever. It's only our awareness that disconnects us. It's our lack of awareness, and it's there all the time. It never goes away. It's always supporting, always has the answers, always ready.
And never judges.
Yeah.
Never judges, exactly, and always there.
If we treat ourselves like our higher self treats us, it would be so much better.
It is.
If we were just nice to ourselves.
Like our higher self is to us.
Yeah.
And a great source for wisdom and guidance, absolutely.
Yeah, we've all got it.
And as you alluded to as well, energy for healing.
Absolutely. Barry, why don't you say your website in case anyone wants to go visit?
Houseclearing.com.au on the web, and you can actually see a bit of the information of what I do with energy, etc. A small fraction of what's available to you, and none of the stuff that I came up with, but being blessed enough to actually be connected to it. So, but yeah, check it out if you'd like to.
Energy healing and house clearing.
Energy here, yeah. So I do both energy clearings as well as energy healings. So there we go. Rhonda does too.
Yes, Rhonda does too. Rhonda's a fantastic healer, but she doesn't have her website quite ready yet. And of course, you can come and visit me at thoughtchange.com anytime. Oh, I should also say that both Barry and Rhonda have been my guests on Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. Barry did an episode on space clearing, shamanic space clearing, I think it was called. And Rhonda was my guest for the mystical brain. So you can check both of those out on YouTube, but I certainly can put the link underneath this. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. I hope you have time to connect with your higher self in the near future. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.